pressed record.
That's really nice.
Let's do the whole episode.
As ASMR.
In mono. Oh. I'm still in front of you.
Listen to me. Stroke the mic.
You haven't got headphones on. I've got headphones on. Yuck. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
All right, yeah. You okay?
I'm broken. I've done a lesson of Taekwondo with my 10-year-old, and she outbeat me in many, many ways, and I am literally, every part of me hurts. My hips hurt, my thighs hurt, my knees hurt. I'm in pain right now.
Yeah, I've done a few, like three kind of lesson free ones. Like we did Wing Chun. Miranda and I did that. I tried Krav Maga with SideQuest Mark. Oh my god, the bruises on my arms from that. We're using like what's this part of your arm?
Oh, your forearm.
Just your forearm, like to block chops.
Yeah.
The bruises you get. And they were going to me, like, yeah, well, when you've done it a few years, you don't get the bruises anymore. It's like, yeah, but I've got them now.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, no, this one, she's had a couple of free taster lessons and she enjoyed it, so she's going to go back. And then today it was just, there was lacking children because it was half term. So me and another dad that was there just said, well, we'll step in and we'll do it with you. Wearing jeans to start with isn't a good move, and then wearing a button-up shirt as well. So I just got in the car and I sat back, and all I felt, it was just squelch. It was just horrible.
So did you have a pocket protector as well with the pens in it? That's what I'm imagining when you're saying jeans.
It was
and a
my
button-up
skull
shirt.
shirt.
Oh, okay.
It was my skull shirt.
Okay, so it was, you haven't come straight from work.
No. Well, yeah, I had. That's what I wear to work.
Oh, I was imagining you in.
Oh,
like
God, no. My work is really nice and simple. I wear jeans and a funky shirt, job done.
Oh, okay. And then
smart casual, darling, smart casual. But no, I did ask him at the end if he's going to do an adult course for highly unfit males like me, and he said yes, he is planning to. So he just said, carry on joining in with the kids.
That's hilarious.
Which is just going to be very funny when I accidentally kick one of them in the faces and they run home to their mummy with a big black eye. It's like, I really didn't mean to. Yeah. I got carried away.
Just roundhouse kicking some child.
We were doing a rotating back kick today, which was very funny.
It sounds like Naruto.
It was seriously good fun, but I am broke, so I'm going to start doing maybe some yoga at evenings and see if that helps my
I keep being told
movement.
To do yoga. It's really good for you, yoga. Great for your hips, great for your back.
That's what I hear, but that's not Star Trek, is it? So
sorry. Yeah, where's the sci-fi?
So yeah,
this is a sci-fi podcast.
That's where I'm broken, but that's me. How are you?
I'm right. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about how I am. I'm fine, I guess.
Fair enough. Moving on.
So what sci-fi you've been up to last fortnight?
Doctor Who. That is it.
Yeah.
I've got to catch up on 73 Yards still, but I've now watched Boom, as the episode is titled.
Yeah.
I know we did a big 20-minute discussion over on the Variety Show, and hopefully we'll do another bonus episode where we discuss the next two episodes. Really enjoying it. Still not sure on the new Doctor. He's good, but I'm getting him more as just a highly intelligent bloke rather than the Doctor at the moment. He doesn't have, I keep saying it, and it's genuinely how I feel, he doesn't seem to have the fire in his belly, which all the other Doctors have. It just feels like what's the best way to say it? Well, it's not the best way to say it, but it's the ridiculous way to say it. It just feels like he's got the squits and he's always on the run. So, we're at this amazing place, but I need to be near a toilet just in case I need to run, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from, because that's what it just seems to be so far. I'm hoping 73 Yards improves on that.
See, I'm really suspicious with your things that you say at the moment, because so now you've said about going for a run or
I 100%.
If I hear that again, I'm going to call you.
The challenging chipmunk has not, and I absolutely promise this, has not been involved in this episode at all today.
Right. They haven't contacted me either.
No. She said she's not going to tell me when she's contacted you, so it will purely be I have no idea when that's next coming.
I'm on guard. That's the problem. I'm now on guard.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to wait for me to forget about it, which won't take long.
But that's it. Well, I mean, if you classify sci-fi with fantasy, then the other thing that I've just been absolutely engrossed in and become obsessed with, thanks to good old TikTok, is Has Been Hotel.
Yeah, you've got me into
I sent you the clip of the first music video from the first episode, and that just grabbed me. And I thought, I don't like this animation style, but I'll give it a try. And I think I'm on episode 4 now, and just loving it. And every other episode, well, all the episodes have got these amazing songs to it.
There's 2 in every episode.
And they just keep getting better and better. There was a power ballad in the last one.
I think that must be... Well, I'm on episode 3.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, nearly at the end of episode 3.
Yeah, so...
halfway through, something like that.
Have you... Is that the one that they've got the overlords all around the table talking?
That's
so that's
okay,
kind of the power ballad.
That song.
Yeah,
just done that song.
It's so good.
Yeah, I think the animation style is kind of. It reminds me of Teen Titans-esque.
It's Teen Titans. It's My Little Pony modern era, not original
style,
era.
Yeah, I don't like the style either, but the
works.
way they're doing it works.
And I think because of the musical element and actually how fun it is and how such a weird idea it is that they've come up with. For me, it's really working. But what I do need to go back to, so the whole show started as a pilot on YouTube a fair few years ago now. I'm going to say 2019.
Okay.
And they put a whole pilot episode on YouTube, and it got millions of views, and it's finally been persuaded to turn it into a proper show. So I must go back and watch the pilot and see what it's like.
I'd love to see the pilot. It kind of reminds me of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared in that regard, because that was a long-running series on YouTube to then get picked up
before
by
it
Channel
then
4.
got picked up, yeah. And thank God they picked that up, and it was just as good as the YouTube.
Longer form episodes, you'd never have thought it would have worked, and it did. It made them even
so
more
much.
fucked up.
It did.
I don't even know if I finished the last 2 episodes of that, because I got to the one with, not Sci-Fi, sorry. I think it was twins. They went to like that person's, the twins' house.
They go to the house with the mum and the dad.
I think that's as far as I got, and I thought I need to have a break because this is getting a bit mental.
Did you see the episode? I can't remember if it's before or after it, where they get jobs.
No, okay, yeah, I have seen the job one.
That's such a good episode as well.
All of them just are so dystopian and mental. This is a real... people need to watch this.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
And you can go straight into the Channel 4 one too. You don't need to...
Oh, you don't need to get... I would go and watch the YouTube ones because
they do little quips about things that were in those.
Oh, 100%. And...
The brainworm.
Yeah, just... forever, Kate, my friend, will know... that she introduced me. Did she introduce? No, I think I found it, and then she said, "Oh no, I already knew about it." But it's just constant. I can message her the color green, and I know what will come back is it's not a creative color.
yeah, I do stuff like that. Yeah,
and just all of it, and it's like the computer screaming, "Don't touch me!"
Yeah, there's so much. Honestly, people have got to watch it. There's so much in it. Back to Doctor Who.
But yeah, that's all the sci-fi and fancy, if we go that far, has been Doctor Who, has been Hotel, and that is it. I've not really had much time to fit anything else in, but there's not really been anything else really sci-fi that I've wanted to watch recently. Last month I finished going over the classic Battlestar Galactica, which, as cheesy as it is, just brilliant show.
I've got them all on Blu-ray. Miranda's seen all of them. She loves it, and she thinks I'll really like it.
What, the original or the modern? So I'm talking about the original 1970s, 80s. No, it'd
be the more modern one then.
Yeah, apparently that's amazing. It's really good. But I love the original. The proper original, just, it's wonderful.
She may have seen that, but I don't know.
I grew up with, we had the VHS of the, it was an odd one. So you had the series, but then they did a video, which was a movie, which was just basically lots of clips from all of the series turned into a long movie instead.
Yeah.
And I used to love watching that. And I even remember it was this black video case, and it had these diagonal, really thin yellow lines. So it almost looked like kind of a hazard warning sort of thing all over the case. And I can vividly see it in my head now. It was great. Loved it. But no, that's me on sci-fi. How about you?
Same Doctor Who. I mean, I've seen the one past where you have.
Yeah.
And I just erred. That's for Karen. I did it again instantly. We've been talking about that on the chat today. The most recent one, yeah. People should go on the Discord, get the link from channel84.co.uk, plug, and join this Discord. We've got a really good kind of Doctor Who chat kind of building up there. We're all talking about, it is spoilers. I've been putting mine in spoiler tags, but there is you've put a warning up saying there are spoilers in here pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said it.
Because we're talking about the episodes.
It's purely a spoiler one, but you're right. For anything really big, it's worth spoiler tagging.
I basically am tagging what I know you haven't seen.
Nice.
Basically, because I don't want to ruin it for you. I don't know about the other guys because I'm not directly talking to them about it. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to you watching this one. because I've just got some points that I think it's a very, very good episode. Very good. Like at a level of screwed up that the Weeping Angels are at.
Oh, brilliant.
Not scary in the same way, but the same kind of fucked up that the Weeping Angels episode was. This is very fucked up, particularly when it gets right near the end of it. You're just like, oh my God, yeah. Ugh. But then there's a massive part of it that doesn't get answered in it. That was really frustrated me.
Oh, so
and that's what's in the spoiler tag on the Discord.
So that will annoy me when it comes across.
Absolutely will annoy you, and I'll talk to you about it.
But that's fine. These things happen. But as long as the episode is good on the most part, I don't mind little things like that. Quick question before we go on to Star Trek regarding Doctor Who, actually, because I know we're not the Untitled Who show.
Doctor Who show, yeah.
In Boom, it's the Anglican Church Army or whatever they're called.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it not the Anglican Church Army that deal with the Weeping Angels?
Oh, sugar.
Because they are all in Reverend collars and whatever, aren't they?
It could well be, actually. I think that they are supposed to represent humans specifically in the 3,000 years or whatever, just on different planets, and then, they change their names or whatever.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I kind of noticed. It's kind of, I'm sure we've had Church Army before, and I'm sure it was the Weeping Angels that we had that in.
You've got such a good memory for that kind of stuff. It's not something I pick up on.
That's because I'm just a big geek who had no life when I still don't to an extent, but I just enjoy. I think I've watched most of those seasons at least 3 times now.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say something on the microphone? We have a cat talking into my mic muff at the moment.
Yeah, TJ's here, which means Scuba has to come along and say hello.
All your animals come and say hello to me. It's lovely.
They do. They like
I'm like
you.
Dr. Dolittle.
So yeah, other sci-fi, more Discovery. It's really good, TJ. Honestly,
okay.
I don't know if you're going to bother muscling through the first 3 series, but certainly...
I've watched series 1 and 2, and 1 I thought was awful. 2, I found it had improved, but not enough to make me go, yeah, brilliant. And then is it series 3, they go into
dreadful. 3 is dreadful.
3's the start of them in the future, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought. It's like, right, you basically everyone's just agreed to say, yeah, see you later, family, off I go. Which, if you take the human condition, no matter how good and righteous the Federation is, sorry, but you're not going to have an entire ship of people.
No.
At least half of them are going to go, yeah, I really like the idea of staying with you. I'm not. And they're going to jump in an escape pod and escape. And yeah, I just didn't like the character in his transforming ship that they've come up against.
So Booker becomes a good character. We've talked about it to nauseam, but it's just, I think season 3 of Discovery is some of the worst Star Trek that you could watch, in my opinion. And I don't know how they turned it around in season 4, but season 4, for any Discovery writers that are listening to this podcast, season 4 was so good. It was just like a different show. And I read on Twitter, actually, that the Discovery is now the longest running Star Trek series. Not the most episodes, but if you go from the year it started to the year it is at, apparently Discovery is the longest running now.
Yeah, but that's not fair to say when you've had giant filming gaps.
Well, this is the thing. Like, there is nowhere near as many episodes. Like, in the 4 series, probably only makes up 1.5 next gen series. Because you get like 6 or 8 episodes.
The Next Generation, for example, the reason it lasted 7 years was because they did 7 seasons. It was a season a year, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they drew it to a conclusion at series 7.
Whereas Discovery
Voyager was the same. Deep Space Nine was the same.
Yeah, whereas Discovery was on Netflix first, wasn't it? For like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then went back.
Then it had a break. Then it came back. Yeah, I don't...
It was just an interesting thing. I saw one of the Star Trek Twitter channels.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand where they're coming from.
But certainly there's not as much of it.
Anyway. Yeah, but like you said, season 3 had broken it for me, which is why I gave up on it again. I found series 1 quite hard because I didn't really like the whole Klingon side of things. Season 2 I somewhat enjoyed, but the whole Klingon baby thing that was going on. But I had twigged that he was probably a Klingon that had been changed to look human. I think that's season 2 anyway.
Yeah, that's season 2.
Yeah. And then season 3 happened, and it's just like, I've just seen the Enterprise with Pike, and it was super sexy. And now I'm in the future, and I'm never going to see the Enterprise again. And I've got some dick in a... I've got Booker, and I don't like him. Great. And that's where I gave up.
Yeah, by the time you get to certainly season 5, there aren't really characters in it. I go, ugh. It's brought back... Season 5 has brought back a particular actress who is in season 1 and 2, who's also in that zombie film. Do you remember we talked about that zombie film where she isn't actually there? They filmed her separately.
Yes.
She is the best character in Discovery, and she's back in season 5, and she's used quite a lot, and she's a great character. Really good. And
I just don't know if whoever needs to hear this, but there are people like you. There are people out there who also think Tilly is a fucking pain in the arse and hate her.
Accessing library computer data.
So, this episode, TJ,
Yes.
I did not give anybody any homework.
Woohoo!
Because it's question time. Really enjoyed the question time last time we did it. Time. And we got some more. Got a few here. And the first one from Assignable Jack on our Discord is actually a really good one relating to Doctor Who and other bits we spoke about, because it's a time travel question.
Yes.
So I shall read out his exact message on here. I don't know how to do his voice. Here's one I thought you might want to chew over. Do you feel that Trek's approach to temporal mechanics and events around them are consistent in universe? You know, enough to say that it's clear that's how Trek does time travel.
Not a fucking chance.
I don't know if any show keeps a consistency with how they deliver time travel.
Sliders.
She just scratched you, didn't she?
No, she's biting me constantly. I'm being nibbled by a cat who's having far too much fun.
Yeah, you're
biting my wrist and my fingers, and now I'm being glared at.
Yeah, you do that, she'll bite you. Yeah, get her tail going.
Oh, I know, but she's playing. That's the thing, because she's not.
Yeah,
she's not going for blood. It's just a nibble for fun.
Yeah, she likes a roughhouse.
Anyway, no. I think that's if I had to choose bugbears to have with Trek as a universe, they do not stick to one story properly, or one method of doing something. There's no fixed thing, and it can just be any season can say we're going to do it like this. So original series, time travel was slingshot round the sun.
Yeah,
which. Funny enough, TNG say, well, there are ways of doing time travel, slingshot round the sun, as Data's working out. I think it's in First Contact. But instead, they followed the Borg cube, which bends space and time instead, and follow it through there.
That seems more kind of realistic, though, if that makes sense. If I'm going to pick about realistic, I'm doing air quotes, of what it is. It's like opening up a tear in reality.
In the space-time fabric.
Through it. No. Folding space,
which is exactly
seems
how
more realistic.
Well, let's see
about that in Trek.
You've got. I'm waiting to be savaged again. It's quite scary. No, you're right, and you think actually things that do it well. Doctor Who, that is just going through the fabric of time and space instead. Event Horizon, space folding and doing it like that. Bill and Ted, drop into the fabric and the spools of time within time and space.
Time wormholes, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's the graphic they use, isn't it?
And they're consistent in what they do and what you expect to happen. Whereas Trek, it's very odd how they choose to do these things, isn't it? I mean, as I said, the original series, it's a slingshot around the sun to get to the highest possible warp speed. But then we later see in Voyager, they're trying to get to the impossible warp speed. But that doesn't do time travel. Instead, it just catapults them across the universe instead to a different area. Yeah. So it's not consistent at all. He's right. There is no decent approach to temporal mechanics at all.
Threshold.
threshold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a prime directive for it, the temporal prime
directive. Yeah, you can't mess around. If you end up going back in time, don't piss about.
And the fact that they've got a prime directive kind of shows that they've figured out time travel, because they've now have to have made a prime directive to manage that. So when you think about that, the Klingons would be able to do it. Why are they not whacking themselves back in time to go and win a war against the humans or whoever they want, and just fucking around with everything constantly? They're not going to have a temporal prime directive. They're not going to care.
The problem with Star Trek is everyone is too good. Even the enemies are too good.
Yeah.
So you consider the Borg come to attack Earth in First Contact, and only then do they decide to jump back in time and assimilate the Earth early.
Yeah.
If they've got the ability to do that, or they've worked out how to do that, wouldn't you just say, well, it failed, so let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
It's kind of like Terminator.
Yeah, you would just keep on sending it back until something works. And it doesn't. They try it once, and that's the end of that. And they're all interconnected.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because you've got to think about Marvel kind of really... I mean, it's a theory, isn't it? But Marvel kind of brought it to the forefront of when you go back in time, you're not changing your timeline, because
you're changing.
If you did, you never would have been in the position to go back and do it. So you're creating an alternate timeline.
That's the big thing. That's the whole thing with time travel. And what would you expect to see? Yes, you've got the thought, which is if I go back in time and change something, ultimately that could change the events that happen now. So actually I might not time travel back. So you then end up in a whole paradox then. So yes, it would go off and be in its own timeline.
Yeah.
And then the events there. And in theory, would you just disappear? I don't know.
Well, Back to the Future does exactly that.
Exactly. Then you've got the whole butterfly effect, which we see in Doctor Who. That first episode, Ruby squashes a butterfly and everything suddenly changes.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got the typical one, which is it doesn't really matter what we do, and when we come back, everything's back absolutely fine.
Well, they say gravity differently now in Doctor Who, right?
Oh, Mavity.
Yeah, which they haven't brought back yet. They haven't.
They have. I don't think they're going to continue it. I think they might have realised that was a little silly, but I liked it.
Yeah, I
thought it was just really silly but fun.
Yeah, maybe like at the last episode they'll do it again,
possibly, or maybe go back and fix it and say it's gravity, not Mavity.
Yeah,
but it's
go on.
It depends on what you subscribe, your not belief, but what you believe would work in time travel as to how it would be shown on screen. And yeah, Star Trek hasn't done a good job of really putting that in place.
I think that it's going to be two ways. We're going to talk about it in real reality. Either you time travel and you make another timeline, or time travel is completely impossible and never happens. Else, how do we not already know? How has somebody not already come back in time?
Yeah,
and been legitimately realistic enough for us all to go, oh no, you're actually this. Or obviously that person hasn't come back far enough to us yet. Maybe it's happening tomorrow. Or the day after. I mean, why has it not happened yet?
The thing that you've got to throw into this as well is if we're talking about time travel and temporal dynamics, you've got to bring in dimensions as well. So obviously Marvel's got the mirror universes, Star Trek's got the mirror universes, which I'm sure we'll come to. But have you ever watched Rick and Morty?
Not the most recent series, but I have.
So you've watched it. So you know basically they subscribe to there is just millions of universes all doing their same thing at exactly the same time, and they're all just ever so slightly different.
Yeah.
That is a show that from day one set out the expectations of what this is and have stuck to it perfectly. And I really like, again, it's a dark thing. And if you haven't watched Rick and Morty, think about it being as Back to the Future, but really fucking dark. And the fact that they fuck up their universe, they go to another universe, kill themselves, bury them in the back garden, and then take over their lives. So they find the nearest universe that's as normal to their lives that they came from and just take... And it's... Yeah, that works because they've put the effort into telling us how it works, whereas Star Trek doesn't. It just says, we're going to time travel today, and that's the episode. And if I think about all the time travel episodes that exist, you've got original series, the film.
Yep.
You've got...
That's the whale one.
It's the Whales, yeah, which I love that film.
Like
I'm going to see it at Cineworld. It's whatever anniversary it's coming up to, so it's on the big screen again. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's got to be like 40.
It's probably
or
40 because I think
50s.
the rest of them have been
40
40th anniversaries. Yeah, I think it's 40. But yeah, so I'm going to go and see that. But then you've got Next Generation. There's a double episode where they go back in time because there's some aliens basically killing people in the past and taking their souls because that's what they eat. And then they only go back in time because they find Daisy's head buried underground. So that's how they travel in that one. First Contact, obviously. I'm trying to think if there's any other TNG episodes they go back in time.
No,
it's difficult. I mean, I could type it in on the search engine now and say, what Star Trek episodes featured time travel? And it would tell me. I know Deep Space Nine, Trials and Tribulations, they do time travel. And I can't remember how they do that. I have a feeling that's going to be one of the... not artifacts, but one of the religious items that the Bajorans have that keep on turning up that basically give you visions and whatever else, or will do things.
is that already? That's in an episode of Discovery I just watched. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
There's a weird thing that she touches, and I think that the star scientist they might have said that she was Bajoran.
Yeah, so
and then she goes into a trance and gets put into this other kind of state where she has to do this thing.
Oh, yeah, that'll be it. So that is exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
I'm just looking up the name of them now, and hopefully that will tell you what it is. Bajoran orbs, they're just called an orb.
Okay, it wasn't an orb, it was like a slip of
mystical artifact
like
of the
metal.
prophets.
Like a kind of bit of metal, and she pressed it and then it kind of lit up and then she went into something. I'm sure they said that the person who made it was Bajoran, so that would make sense.
It would make sense, yeah, that it's all to do with the prophecies and stuff of the Bajoran religion. But yeah, I'm sure Enterprise time travels at one point.
Well, New World do.
New World does,
That's
yes.
a very good episode, to be fair.
That's a very good episode.
Discovery, they go forward.
Yeah.
And then they also have a mirror universe, which they interact with a lot.
Of course, the original series has mirror universe as well, yes.
Where they're all evil.
All evil. Basically, in the original series, that was just an excuse to give everyone a moustache or a goatee.
Dude, same in Discovery.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, it's funny that's one of the things that they will always do. If you go to mirror universe, Lower Decks has it.
Yes, they do.
They go to the mirror universe there as well, and it's a brilliant idea. In fact, that's the one thing of time travel or universe changeovers I really like.
Well, no, yeah, then they walk. They also have time travel in that episode where the Lower Decks people go back in time.
Yes.
So I was talking about the one I was talking about was when the captain and the security lady go back in time.
Yeah, they
to see Khan as a baby.
Oh no! See, I'm not even thinking about that. There's the one that they
in Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds, where security lady and George Kirk.
Oh no, it is Kirk. Sorry, not the captain. It's Kirk.
Yeah, so it's Kirk end up back in Canada, don't they? And it's the Romulans are going to blow something up, or they think they are.
A bridge in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, it's all over the place. There's no consistency to it.
No.
The only thing I will say about actually Enterprise, which did it quite well, but again, they did it, and it never crops up in any of the. I know Enterprise is newer than TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, but in Enterprise, basically you've got a bloke who says, I'm the temporal police.
Yeah.
I'm here tracing someone that's jumping through time doing bad things. And then they put a lock on someone's room and say, no one can ever go in this room because we don't know what's in there that could be related to the future.
And never bring
that could change everything.
Oh, yeah, that's the lock that we talk about in that episode that we watched.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like, this is we never see the temporal police again.
But is that because didn't Enterprise get cancelled early? Is that right?
Yeah, perhaps. But
Because
what I'm
they
saying
never
is
finished some of the
they've
storylines.
chosen to do something new that none of the other seasons had done, which is fine. I understand that. But if you're in the past, you would expect the temporal police to have maybe turned up or be a log entry somewhere saying, by the way, the temporal police exist.
Well, isn't that...
Because otherwise, when you get back to space, why is that room locked?
I know
I can't tell you.
Oh, yeah, they're the Travellers, aren't they? Wesley's the Traveller.
Yeah, so you've got the Travellers. There is kind of some time travel that goes on in TNG, and there's an episode where a professor turns up in a ship, and he basically is interviewing everyone. In the end, it turns out he's just nicking everything, and he's stolen this time travel ship, and he's nicking everything and then selling it back in his own time.
Well, you've got that
as historic relics that have all been confirmed as to where they've come from.
Isn't that alien a traveller who comes and messes with their warp drive?
Yeah, so that is the Traveller.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got the a Federation employee who thinks he knows more than he does, when actually all the warp engine changes he's decided to make don't do anything. But the Traveller's powers are what's been making them work and help.
Yeah, so he has powers.
Yeah, so the Traveller kind of helped the ship move via his own powers.
But Wesley
sort of
hasn't
thing.
got powers.
He does.
Oh.
So it turns out he becomes a Traveller in one of the last series. He decides to drop out, helps a native Indian tribe who's going to be kicked off a planet by whatever alien race it is, and then dissolves into thin air saying, I'm going to be a Traveller now, see ya.
Oh, God, that sounds fucking terrible.
It's a bad episode.
I think that's enough of time travel for now.
Yeah, I agree. No more time travel. Sorry, can I just point out we missed out something on time travel?
Okay.
Let's do the super happy ending. Wayne's World.
Oh, God, yeah. Bloody hell.
That's the best way of doing time travel. Just get slid onto camera and go.
Yeah. I'm sure there's loads of things we could probably actually find.
Oh, God, yeah.
So,
anyway.
Next, we had an email.
Oh, we need a clip. Email.
What's that from? Email. It's from High Star Runner. So
yes.
Strong Bad does email.
I got the compy, you got the email.
So, Thomas Edwards.
Yeah, so Teddy, my old work employee that I used to work with.
He sent a few things. One of them we're saving for another episode because it's actually a really good one and I want to actually flesh the whole thing out.
Yeah, Teddy, we own the rights to it now, so don't try and get anything out of it.
Copyright, all that stuff. Well, basically, if you email something to me, that means we now own it. The same with you sending your voice to us. That means you've signed a digital document.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We're like Apple. They say you can send us your ideas, and if we use them, you'll get no credit at all.
Yeah, we can use your photos in our advertisements, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
anyway,
let's
Teddy.
go. Anyway, here. So I'll read it as he's written it. Why does there only ever seem to be one doctor? It doesn't seem enough for a big spaceship. And also, why don't they ever get ill? That's a great question, but because we've said similar things.
We have.
And obviously the real answer is because it's a TV show. But I think Lower Decks has done it best by showing the lower deckers and showing, like, Tendi at the beginning being a lot of the kind of trainee doctor. So you see the trainees around, but you do still have the main,
I think
the main one.
The difficulty is that, yes, you're right, it's a TV show, and you're not getting 24 hours in police custody style show. You're not seeing shift swaps and everything. The shifts we care about are... Could you imagine turning on The Next Generation and it just being, Ensign Jimmy here, and...
That does lead on to the next question that he's got.
We've got Barry over there, by the way. He's manning comms today, and Dave's on weapons, and Sandra, she's steering the ship at the moment. It'd be the worst episode in the world because you've got no attention or no connection to those characters, and I think that's where this is. The Doctor on any of the ships in any of the series is the Doctor on that shift, and it's the same shift pattern, so that happens to all the other crew that we like.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, because I'm pretty sure the TNG, there's been a couple of episodes where Beverly has said, I'm pretty sure Doctor, whatever her name is going to be is on shift at the moment. She's dealing with that. So there is more than one doctor on board. I just think it's shift based.
But it does. I think you're right in saying that it does feel like the med bays are small. Like Voyager, it's got like 4 beds in it.
Well, yeah, because anytime there's a big explosion, you think it's a Galaxy class. We could stick with TNG here. Galaxy class cruising ship. You got a piss poor tiny little med bay, and every time they get into a battle, suddenly all the cargo bays are turned into makeshift hospitals.
Yeah.
That's shit.
Yeah. Why haven't they just made it bigger?
I mean, even the Strange New Worlds Enterprise's bloody Medibay is bigger than the Enterprise
Well,
one.
he's got a whole sectioned off office. I mean, it's actually, to be fair, Voyager does too, actually.
Yeah,
Hologram's
Crusher
got his
does as
own
well.
little room.
Crusher's got her own office. Yeah, it's odd because, you'd think a ship that size, unless... Well, we know that healthcare has actually improved so much that a hypo spray can fix anything. The common cold has been cured. So I guess, do you need nursing beds, really? Do you need more than, let's say, 5 beds? In day-to-day work, probably not, because everyone's just super healthy. Everyone gets up. They have their generated coffee out of the machine, out of the replicator, and it's probably full of all the vitamins and medications that they need to make sure that they're not just walking around shagging everyone, completely lowering the libido and everything on board the ship, so drugging them at the same time. That's why Riker doesn't drink it. He has his own special stash, I bet. That's why he's so randy all the time.
Yeah, probably.
But I just think everyone's just meant to be super healthy, and as healthcare's so good, you don't need a big medibay, and only in these, oh shit, we're at war and our ship's been beaten up, do we need the space? And then, what do? Do you have a giant ward surgery system that never gets used that could be used for an arboretum, stellar photography?
Yeah,
Talking about Voyager.
Yeah, I guess because a lot of just the common things that would ail you have kind of been cured. And you probably get like a vaccination when you're a kid. Or maybe that even doesn't happen anymore. They just, when you get scanned, when your mum's pregnant, they can just do something to your DNA, or it's just been written out of you. Like the common cold doesn't exist anymore. Flu doesn't exist anymore. People aren't needing their tonsils taken out anymore. Their appendix anymore. It just doesn't happen.
One of the TNG episodes, it's... I can't think of the name of it. I can tell you what the episode is. So Picard starts getting headaches, and it's the Ferengi. And basically, he goes to Beverly and she said, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Well, I've got a headache." And she said, "In this century, no one gets headaches, so something must be wrong. So we need to look into it."
Yeah,
it's a good episode actually. The Stargazer gets brought back, which was his original ship that he thought was destroyed and told everyone to abandon ship, and the whole Picard maneuver is created based from that storyline. And the Ferengi have found it, and they're bringing it as a peace offering, when actually it was Picard that killed this Ferengi's family at this battle he created the Picard maneuver in, and he's got a mind control device that makes Picard take over the Stargazer and reliving the incident, but shooting at the Enterprise instead.
Right.
So it's a really good episode, but it shows you what we're talking about there, which is at this time and century in Star Trek, even a common headache shouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe that is why.
I guess they probably just need to know more about alien flus, of humans catching alien diseases from the other aliens on the ship, and vice versa, a Klingon catching something from us, or they're all interracial shagging, so you don't know what kind of creature's going to come out.
He's got space AIDS.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I guess I can't remember what series it is, or even if it was Star Trek. I'm sure it was Star Trek, but one of the series, every time someone died, the computer was going, life signs for this person have been terminated. And I genuinely can't remember what it is now. I don't think it is Star Trek, thinking about it. But seeing that the computer is monitoring everyone's life signs anyway, you could just say, you're poorly, go to your... I nearly said, go to your room, go to your apartment, go to your
Doesn't that happen
quarters.
Doesn't that happen in Strange New Worlds? Someone gets contacted by the doctor saying, the computer's reading your elevated something.
Yeah.
In one of the series
but the point
that
is
happens.
The computer, it's capable of doing that. So they probably do just send people, I'm happy it's just whatever it is. There's your first dose of the drug. Go and rest in your quarters. And the computer's just going to monitor you from there, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So, next question he's got is, why have no aliens learned what Earth business hours are and attacked the night shift? Or is the bridge just empty at night and the space anchor is out so nothing moves?
So, yeah.
We just touched on it. We have touched on that a little bit before.
Star Wars people constantly joke that Star Trek is just boring.
Well,
And I kind of understand where they're coming from sometimes. And then I look at the original 3 Star Wars films and just watch the incredibly slow sword fights and think, bit shit really, isn't it? But at the same time, I understand.
Let's not throw too much shade.
No, okay. But Star Trek is very much politics and all sorts of things going on. Don't forget, though, that Star Wars Episode 1 opens with talking about the banking of certain star systems.
I love them. Maybe that's why I love it. Maybe that's why I love Phantom Menace so much, because it's Star Wars does Star Trek.
But there's several where Riker and Troy are writing out the shift plans.
Yeah.
So there's shifts. There's red shift, alpha shift, whatever it is.
Lower Decks is it Delta Shift?
Oh yeah, and you've got all the shifts there. And then when Picard goes off to do a mission, he goes to do an undercover mission to go and find Spock on Romulus. I've forgotten the name of the captain now, but a really grumpy captain takes over the Enterprise and says, right, I want 4 shifts a day, not 3 shifts a day. And basically kicks Riker off the bridge in the end. But he wants more shifts. So there is a shift pattern in there. So it's just constantly 100% 24/7.
Yeah.
Even Christmas Day.
Even Christmas Day.
I tell you, I would love to, I wish there had been a Christmas episode in all. Can you imagine a Voyager Christmas episode? Janeway looking for coffee and a Christmas tree on an alien planet.
Yeah, if any of the
committing
series
genocide
were going to do
against
it,
a candy cane race.
Yeah, if any of the series were ever going to do a Christmas episode, it would have been Voyager. It would have been, wouldn't it?
Harry Kim getting his Christmas wish of a promotion, and then it being whipped away because it's just a dream.
It'd all be a holodeck one. It'd be elves escaping the holodeck, and they're all murderers.
Oh
That's
god,
what
yeah, no,
And
it
they'd
would
have
be an
giant candy
alien
cane
race that turned out
sights.
to be elves.
Yeah. God, it sounds horrifying.
I'd love it.
So, next, someone hasn't contacted us before. I don't know if you've heard them
really?
before. Yeah, this is a new person. Their name's Karen.
Oh, yeah, no, I've never met Karen.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
They've sent some questions for us. So, we've already spoke about this one privately, and then you told me to stop talking.
Yeah, we've got to.
So, it's how do they do the laundry in space? Now, this was answered. So she messaged this to us the day before I'd watched one of the most recent Lower Decks episodes where that is literally answered.
Oh, really?
Not the
okay,
laundry aspect of it, but where they get their clothes
as you're
from.
ahead of me on that, I would just assume that it would be replicated. So every morning, you'd have a nice, fresh, replicated uniform, and the old one you would just shove in some hole that that sounds filthy. That gets turned into, broken down into protein and matter and antimatter, and then just pulled back into the system and recycled.
So let me read the entire thing she wrote. So how do they do laundry in space? You see Kiko.
Kiko.
Geico. It's like Geico.
Sounds like a
for all
dodgy
the,
watch you
for all
bought.
the Americans out there, it sounds like Geico. You see how do I say it again? Kiko. Putting dishes back into the replicator in the O'Brien quarters on Deep Space Nine. But Nog gets his uniforms from Garrick more than once in Deep Space Nine too. So is it a case of most people replicating a new uniform when the one they have gets smelly? Or do they do the laundry, but as Nog is a Ferengi, does that mean he requires specialist tailoring?
Okay, so Karen, who's never listened to the show before or been involved, fair enough, might need to remember that Deep Space Nine, if you go back to the beginning of Deep Space Nine, they're not Federation replicators. They're Cardassian and Bajoran replicators that are always breaking, because the majority of episodes in Deep Space Nine, O'Brien is requested to go and fix a replicator at some point.
Why are they not?
Because it's a Bajoran space station that was taken over by the Cardassians during the war, then given back to the Bajorans in a really shit state, and the Federation are there just as guardians to stop the Cardassians coming back and help the Bajorans, which means they've not stuck any Federation technology on that station. Because if you leave and you leave the Federation technology, you're giving Federation technology to the Bajorans, which I can't remember if they say they can or can't do within the treaty, but either way, it's Bajoran and Cardassian replicators,
So
which
why
is
is
why
Cisco
they're
in
always
charge?
broken, and there's always the joke that they're shit.
So why is Cisco in charge?
Because the Federation said we will act as a guardian on this space station to stop the Cardassians come
They're
back
caretakers.
and to help the Bajorans try to claw back after what's gone on. But that's why I think DS9 is a bit of a misnomer. It's a bit of a red herring when it comes to it, because if you look at TNG, you look at Voyager, you look at Lower Decks, I would say that the uniforms are just all done by, you've been transported, we've got your measurements, we can make you a perfectly fitting uniform just by you going to the replicator and saying, Ensign Bobby Davro, please give me my uniform. Boom, there it is.
So in Lower Decks, Tendy's uniform gets destroyed, and at the end of it, Mariner says, come on, Tendy, we'll replicate you a new uniform.
Yeah.
So they outrightly say that they get their at least new uniforms from replicators.
Yeah, and I think it's difficult because you never, excluding Lower Decks then, you never see it elsewhere. So
It never gets mentioned as far as I'm aware.
there's a couple of episodes in TNG, one where Wesley and his mate are playing with snowballs and they break all holodeck rules here. Picard is walking past the holodeck and gets hit by a snowball. Well, surely as soon as it comes out the holodeck, it should just disappear.
Yeah, but it's water, it's moisture. We've been through this.
No, but it doesn't exist. As soon as it's out of the holodeck, there's no replicant, there's nothing there, so it shouldn't exist.
No, but this is what I'm saying. So snow
Oh,
is
right,
made
so you're
of
saying
water.
because it's replicating water in
so
real
it's-
life.
Yeah,
So actually the snowball technically really does exist while the environment doesn't.
yeah.
Okay, that would work. But anyway, they get him wet and he says, I'm going to have to go and change my uniform now. And then there's another episode where Geordie's got a hyperactive chipmunk of a colleague who's walking around with hot chocolate in her hands in engineering and walks straight into Picard again, coating him in hot chocolate. And he says, I'm going to have to go and change my uniform now. And you shouldn't really have hot chocolate near a console, should you? Scold, scold, scold. But you never see what that means. Does it mean he goes and gets changed into his little panties and then puts on his new uniform? Or does he just go to the replicator and just say, new uniform?
I've got some headcanon that he just goes back to his quarters and opens up his cupboard and it's just lines of perfectly straight and exact uniforms, like 20 of them, just all perfectly lined up.
Well, I mean, it would make sense for it to all be replicated anyway, wouldn't it? Well done. You are... You've been promoted, but you're now going to be a yellow shirt, not a red shirt. The next day you just go, yeah, can I have my new uniform? Boom, there it is. No waiting, it's just done, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that does make sense.
I mean, I guess what would make more sense that maybe you wear it and then at the end of your shift, you put it into like a special tube and it gets sucked away and then broken down to its core components, ready for the next person.
Exactly,
it just makes another uniform.
It gets pulled back into the replicators, skid marks and all, and just like gets regenerated later. I mean, weirdly, and I can only think it's just about time and money. Rarely do you see anyone really socializing on Enterprise without being in uniform. Only when Geordie's being really, really disgusting towards women, he's normally wearing something different. But even when they're playing poker, they're all wearing their uniform.
Or the poker visors.
So it's like, so you can replicate uniforms, but you can't replicate nice clothes? Or are you not allowed to? Maybe you can only bring clothes with you and you've got to use your own credit for that. But
Because
uniforms
tailors-
provided because it's part of the job.
Yeah, tailors would go out of business, wouldn't they? So maybe it's like one of those things where they've had to stop. Excuse me for a minute. Pardon me. Like with AI now, at some point we're going to have to go, right, AI, you are not allowed to do this because you are taking away a complete whole infrastructure of what people have for a job.
Suno is the prime example there, isn't it? You give it a prompt, you say what type of music you want, and it creates you a song with singers, full instruments, full orchestration within seconds.
Graphic designers is a real danger. I've seen a lot on like Reddit and a few other places where graphic designers are already saying they've lost their jobs because what's happening is I read one, so I'm going off track here, where this guy was working for years for this company, and then they started just giving him less and less work, and then after like 6 months they sacked him. And it turns out what they've done, they took all of his web design work and fed that as the learning algorithm for an AI, and now the AI is pumping out his new designs.
Oh, you see, that's ridiculous.
And he's nothing you can do about it because all the designs he made for the company are technically the company's property. So even though they've come from his head, the designs are the company's property, and the company are using those designs to feed an algorithm to learn how to make the designs that he would have made, and now he's lost his job.
Bloody hell.
So that's a really scary thing that, if you think within the next 12 months, there could be a whole sector of, call them humans, because we are, that would just be gone. Because now AI is already at a level that they can generate a very good design, and then they could just have a much lower level person, lower skill person, just go in and just modify it. Because we know that AI fucks around. It gives you 6 fingers rather than 5. Stuff like that. It's still not quite there.
I think very quickly talk about the old fingers thing. I don't know if you saw in the news, but there's been a couple of smaller cases now where they found people have had a 6th finger because they had a 6th rubber finger made, put it on their hand, and when the security footage has come up in court, I think it may have been the concerns or someone had suggested that this could work. They've then said, but if you look at that security footage, I've got 6 fingers. I've quite obviously got 5. That's AI generated imagery.
What a clever thing to do, yeah.
And
that's very
actually,
clever.
I'm not sure how you would fight that one. It'd be very difficult, but you're right. And I'm happy to admit we've not been shitty, but we've used AI images before, and we've come to the conclusion that actually, yes, you're right. You know what? This is basically taking other people's work. So we've stopped using them now because of exactly that reason. But I think really...
But we have also paid an artist and also musicians. We've also paid.
We have actually started paying people to do things for us now as well, which I genuinely do see as a benefit because the work that we've got is beautiful.
Yeah.
But going back to talking about Trek for a moment, I think in the future it's going to be like that, though. I could have the computer knock me up some nice fashion, and there'll always be the people that will say, I refuse to do that. I'm going to go and buy something from an actual tailor because that's got the heart and soul of it being made, and it's not just the computer choosing what I'm wearing. So I think tailors will always exist in this discussion because there'll always be the people that will say, well, no, actually, I want something that's properly bespoke, properly me, which is why you got Garrick on Deep Space Nine, the boring tailor who may well be a Kardashian spy as well. But I won't ruin that for you.
No. So we're basically saying it's replicators apart from Deep Space Nine.
It's got to be replicators.
It's got to be replicators.
It's got to be replicators.
So the next question that she's got it's the last question. If you could have any Trek animal as a pet, what would you choose? When I was little, I wanted a tribble. Just a hamster without teeth, right?
Well, I can provide her a hamster without teeth. It's just...
Yeah.
I just think the RSPCA might get involved. But
I called you guinea pigs when I saw them the first time. And Kay corrected me.
Oh, I don't know.
I called them. I was like, is that a thing? And then she was like, no, it's a guinea pig, Rob. I was like, right. I think she had rabbits or something, or hamsters.
Possibly.
Oh, no, I said gerbils.
Gerbils, that was it.
I said this big cage for some gerbils. And she's like, the guinea pig, Rob. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh dear. Okay, Star Trek pet. I'd happily have a tribble.
Now now this is fun. So I originally wrote tribble as what I wanted, and then I was like, tell you what, I'm gonna go and ask Google, what Star Trek animals are there? And that's going to lead me to a game that you and I are going to play.
Oh, God. Have we actually got a game then, have we?
Well, it's just, I want you to name 1, 2, 3, 4, what Google thinks the top 5 animals are on Google. What in Star Trek? What Google thinks the top 5 are. So my search was Star Trek animals. And then it's given me, I hope you're not Googling right now.
No, I'm not.
And then it's literally, you know how it gives you like the thing and then a little drop down, then you can see what it is. You don't use Google much, do you?
No, I use Bing.
Yeah.
And, well, I actually use Arc
But that's
Search
what it
now.
does. So what do you think the top Star Trek animal is according to Google?
I'd like to say it's a tribble, but...
It's right.
It is a tribble, okay.
Yeah. What do you think the second one might be?
Captain Archer's Beagle.
Nope. You're getting on the right thing when you get later on. Snakes. Apparently, snakes is the second most Star Trek animal.
Hang on, what the fuck?
Yeah, now let's go for
hang on, where's snakes? I want to know where snakes are.
Okay, I'll go on it. More than 60 creature descriptions from the Albarian serpent to the Iridium yak, complete with full Star Trek RPG statistics and rules, detailed and expanded. ...
So it's from a game?
From a game, I guess. Next one, I actually just said it. Denebian. And they have a picture of a person. Luricus devil mite, or a louse. Now, the fourth one and the fifth one are much more interesting. What do you think the fourth Star Trek animal is according to Google?
Either Worf's pet Targ, or whatever it was called, or the earworm thing from Wrath of Khan.
Nope, sorry, it's Kardashians.
Google sucks. It really does.
Let's go for the fifth one. What do you think the fifth one is? Now, saying we've just said Kardashians.
Troy.
I'll just say Kardashian. I think it's Cardassian, isn't it?
Well, they are animals, but let's not go there.
No, it's Klingon.
The
Klingons. Right. So after doing that, I then actually went and clicked, which I now can't find. Can I go forward? I can go forward to where it was before. Right. So my actual choice is an animal called Elematia.
Okay.
Now, it's a Vulcan green cat, and it's actually the creature that killed Spock's pet.
I know which one you mean now.
So it's one of those. It's like a ginormous... So what this website says... another creature from the creature nature to Vulcan, the Lematia. It looks as though it's a descendant from the feline family, except they are green and huge. Spock's pet, Salat, was attacked by a wild Lematia and died as a result of the injuries. Because of this, no one likes the Lematia, which seems a little bit harsh.
Interesting, okay. Well, I've just jumped onto Arc Search, which is...
Lematia.
Yeah, I've seen it in the animated series. I know exactly what one that is now.
Green with yellow kind of diamonds on his back.
Looks very He-Man-ish.
They literally write, the person here has wrote, by the power of Grayskull.
Oh, well, there you go. So I've used Arc Search. By the way, I love Arc Search.
I'm waiting for that to come onto Windows.
And I just put Star Trek animals, and it's decided that the search should have been notable Star Trek animals.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay, the very top one was Spot, Data's cat.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Porthos, Captain Archer's beagle.
Yep.
Dr. Phlox's Pyrithian bat, which is from Enterprise as well, which I remember when he says about it. Livingston, which is Captain Picard's lionfish, survived the crash of the Enterprise D.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
The SETI eels, which are Khan Noonien Singh's dangerous pets in Star Trek 2.
Mm-hmm.
Porthos, again, mentioned by Montgomery Scott in Star Trek 2009, and that's the Kelvin timeline.
Right.
So even in the Kelvin timeline, they've kept something from the original idea. This is an interesting one. Neelix. Reginald Barclay's cat, named after the Talaxian crew member on Voyager.
Oh, really?
And then this one, I nearly smacked my heart. I was like, hang on a moment, you can't say that. Do you know what the O'Brien's child is called in Deep Space Nine?
No, I haven't got a clue.
Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Molly.
He put the kid.
No, they haven't. I literally thought they can't have put the kid. Captain Janeway's dog, apparently, is called Molly.
So did they name the dog after the kid or the kid after the dog?
I don't think they named. Well, no, but Deep Space Nine happens before Voyager. I think there's just so happens they've reused a name.
Oh, they've probably just
so
done
yeah,
it as a nod.
Molly was Captain Janeway's dog, an Irish setter rescued from a pound.
So what was I going to say? So the original, what's his name? Name is Katniss.
Oh, Reginald Barclay.
He's the one
from the A-Team.
No, Star Trek.
Yeah, no, he's Star Trek, but he was also the A-Team.
Oh, is he? But isn't that character the one that saves Voyager in the end?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's also in Next Generation.
Yeah, he's in the Next Generation. He
same
plays the
character.
He plays the one that
And same
is
actor, I'm pretty
fairly
sure.
neurotic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same actor.
Yeah, it's exactly the same actor.
Same
And he Dwight something. I'm going to very quickly dial that one up. Is it Dwight York?
Yeah, I enjoyed that guy.
Yeah, he always brought something to it, interestingly. I wouldn't say he was one of my Dwight Schultz is his name.
I kind of, this is maybe not the right word, it's a bit scatty. That's what I felt, it was a bit scatty. Weird kind of character. He was a bit kind of, maybe eccentric's probably the better word.
What's interesting, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going mad here, so let me just see all for his actor.
I don't know anything else he's been in.
He's been in loads. His voice has been across games, TV series. He has been in all sorts of things. But yeah, there you go. Dwight Schultz, I knew he was, is Howling Mad Murdoch in the original A-Team.
Oh, right. I wonder if that's why I've recognised him.
That will absolutely bear where it is. But interesting with IMDb is filmography. You know how IMDb says what's the top thing he's known for? Star Trek First Contact as Lieutenant Barclay, followed by the A-Team, the modern film as a German doctor.
Oh, funny.
Wolfenstein The New Order.
Okay.
And Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. So he's done so many voices across anyway. That's neither here nor there. Finally, the last couple of creatures it comes up with. Christina, which is Miles O'Brien's Lycosian tarantula. Okay. And there's an episode in TNG brings it out on 10-4 and goes, meet Christina.
Oh, God.
And number one, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard's Pitbull in retirement.
Ah, that's quite cute.
Google, you suck.
Yeah, Google's rubbish. So that's it. That's all the questions we had this time. I think we did all right there. It's probably about an hour.
More than likely. But if you head over to channel84.co.uk/Discord and join our Discord server, if you look under Untitled Trek Show for the studio, there is a dedicated thread to stick your questions here and we'll answer them in the next questions.
Yeah, that's one I made today. So
I did also make one, so there's now two threads.
Oh, I probably didn't really realise your... Okay, we can delete mine because
no, just delete mine because it's not got anything on it.
Yeah, because mine was more like... It was kind of like...
Apply here.
Not the announcements for episodes, but announcements for if we want to, we're looking for someone to do a voice.
Yeah.
Or we're looking for questions, or if somebody wants to approach us and say, look, I really like to do a voice. My friend Stidia said that to me today. He would like to do a voice, and he's even said the kind of character he would like. So I'm going to write that in. Oh, there goes TJ's
That's fine.
So you can expect to hear him soon. But yeah, so next time I would like us to watch, this is fitting with this episode, the Deep Space Nine, so it'd be our first Deep Space Nine, and I have not seen very many Deep Space Nines, so this is going to be good for me. Trials and Tribulations, as you mentioned earlier, which is Season 5, Episode 6, deals with time travel, tribbles, all the kind of things that we've been talking about recently with Star Trek. So that is everyone's homework. Now, it won't be for the next episode. It'll be for the one afterwards. So let's all get our calendars out, everybody. Everyone set your calendars and your reminders because we have to strap in. I am travelling on holiday. So the next episode, so this one is going to come out on the 3rd. You would be listening to this on the 3rd of June.
Yes.
Or afterwards. And then it'll be Variety. And then Monday the 17th of June is a special episode. So it's not anything like this. It is a compilation of all of the USS Shit Show episodes and shorts all in the running order of what they're supposed to be. All of the after credit stuff put where they're supposed to be. So anybody that has enjoyed, say for example, we had a lot of people who had never listened to the show before on the Lower Decks ones, will have been jumped in on episode 5 and not have a clue about any of the backstory.
No.
And all of the mainline ones lead on to the next one. It's a continued story. So on Monday the 17th, 2 things are going to happen. We've got the compilation episode. It's 54 minutes long, so strap yourselves in, of all written by us, no AI, it's all us, all the voices, other than obviously the narrator. Spoilers, he's not a real person.
Valentino, you bastard, you stole my heart.
Yeah, he's not a real person. Of our skits. But it's a very special one because, as we kind of touched on earlier, we have got we've got a lovely chap named Reed Rimmer from Fable Factory that we met on Discord, has created a very own intro music for the shit show in the style of all the other Star Treks.
And it is
flipping awesome. It's exactly what we wanted. It's got the Deep Space Nine horns in it. It feels just like you're watching a next gen kind of intro. Or
absolutely,
it's really good. It's just under a minute long. So every time, that is the debut for the shit show's new intro. And every time you hear that music from then on, that means you're about to hear a Star Trek short of some kind, because that is now the intro for that. And you'll only hear it when it's a short. It's not the Untitled Trek Show intro. It's specifically for that, because these things go on YouTube, and at some point I am going to get a content strike at some point. If I'm so surprised I haven't got it yet. I'm so surprised that blinking Barbie song didn't get.
I think one of the episodes is banned in almost every country, but something like Belarus.
We got done in Russia, didn't we? Instantly for one of them. One of the first ones, I think, got done in Russia instantly. It's like, what have we done to offend the Russians? But anyway, Reed. I'm really sorry, Reed, if I'm pronouncing your surname incorrectly. Reimer. I'm saying that's right. I should have asked him how you pronounce it. But Reed from Fable Factory. You can find him over on fablefactory.org. He's not on our Discord. I'll have to get him to join our Discord. So if anybody does want to speak to him, they can do. But that's it really. So the 17th of May, 17th of June will be the special USS Shit Show compilation, episodes 1 to 5, plus all the shorts. Everyone can catch up. If you've got friends that you want to listen, they haven't got to hunt through the episodes. They're all there, and then we'll be back with the actual talking about Deep Space Nine Trials and Tribulations on July 1st.
Crikey!
How far away is that?
That's a month away.
Yeah,
and I bet we still only watch it the night before.
Yeah, and I'll probably still only watch it the night before, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, brilliant stuff though! Brilliant stuff. I'm looking forward to the 54 minutes.
Yeah.
Command functions are offline.
It's that time, folks, where I hand it over to Tom to do all of the...
Well, the Untitled Trek Show is part of the Studio Channel 84 network family. If you head over to www.channel84.co.uk, you will find all the shows that network currently has. Untitled Trek Show, the variety show Lightly Used. We've got one more coming very shortly on that. If you want to contact us, though, you can go to Untitled Trek Show on this site, and under contact you will find all our social media links. That's Twitter, that is, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You'll find them all there. Go to channel84.co.uk/Discord. Come and join the network site, and you get all the Untitled Trek stuff, all the variety show stuff, all the Lightly Used stuff there as well. Finally, you can also email us on tj@channel84.co.uk to speak to me, rob@channel84.co.uk to speak to Rob, and all complaints and emails relating to anything else should go to patronsaint@channel84.co.uk. That goes to that woman Karen, who we don't know who she is.
Yeah, I never heard of her. Just before we go, not sci-fi but fantasy, I saw today in the next Lord of the Rings series they're putting Tom Bombadil in it.
Bombadil or Bombadil? I can't remember. Is it Bombadil?
Bombadil, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't understand why Peter Jackson's doing it though. He made this as much as it's
Is he doing season 2?
Oh no, sorry, you're talking about. Sorry, no, he's doing new Lord of the Ring films.
So yeah, no, Well, I don't know about new films. I only knew that they're doing a Gollum film, which is directed by Andy Serkis and produced by. We spoke about this on the show. Produced by Peter Jackson and the two female other producers that I cannot remember their names. I never seem to be able to remember all three of their names. I seem to always only just remember one of them out of the three of them each time I talk about them.
Useful, really useful.
So I'm so useless in that regard. I didn't know they were doing another 3 Lord of the Rings films. So.
Yeah, there you go. Peter Jackson announcement. Peter Jackson, along with Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, is producing new Lord of the Rings films. The first film, The Hunt for Gollum, directed and starring Andy Serkis, is set for release in 2026.
That's the only one I know about.
I don't think they've announced the other 2, but yeah, it sounds like he's doing another 3 Lord of the Rings films.
I mean, I'm up for that. It's my favourite films of all time.
I wasn't blown away by them, but that's for a whole different
As I said, anyway,
discussion.
That's something for everybody. Tom Bombadil. If you don't know who he is, look it up. It's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do with that. It's not sci-fi. Love you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Channel 84 Untitled Trek Show. This station is now shutting down and will be back in 2 weeks. Excelsior. This was a Studio Channel 84 network show. To find more, head over to channel84.co.uk now.